In a world of glamour, perfection isn't just admired, it is expected. Smooth skin, flawless features, and a quiet assumption that the beauty should somehow defy time. But what happens when someone in the heart of that world decides to play by a different playbook? Our guest today has won the crown of Mrs. World, lit up the magazine covers, and walked the most exclusive runways. Yet, she's never relied on Botox, fillers, or surgical shortcuts to stay relevant. Instead, she's chosen to age on her own terms. I'm thrilled to welcome Dr. Aditi Govitrikar to Wellbeing Wednesdays, where we'll unpack what truly means to be beautiful, relevant, and authentic in an industry built on curated perfection. Welcome, Dr. Aditi, to BW Wellbeing World's Wellbeing Wednesdays with Harbinder Narula. Thank you so much for taking out time.
Thank you so much for having me.
Dr. Aditi, when the cameras are rolling and the lights are unforgiving, most people in your position would opt for cosmetic touch ups. You've consciously refused to do so. What's the deeper philosophy guiding that particular decision of yours?
I think when the cameras are unforgiving and they show the age spots, the wrinkles, the lines, and it pretty much means that you need to forgive yourself. So the lights might be unforgiving, the camera might be so, but if you learn to live with your, I would say they are a life well lived. The lines indicate that. So why erase those? Um, And look, I believe it's a personal choice, each one to his or her own, and it is your face, your body. You got to decide what you want to do. For me, what is important is that I age in a way that I am comfortable and I don't do anything to my face which then makes me look like somebody else. So I don't want to look like somebody else. I want to continue looking like my passport photo. Okay, it's not that glamorous, I agree, but even so. Um, so yeah, I mean that's where I come from. I'm like live and let live. If somebody wants to put fillers in their face, so be it. If somebody wants to do whatever they need to do, they should. Where I'm concerned, I have my own ways of looking younger, which is sleep, hydration, being vegetarian, and taking care, basically looking after your mental and physical well-being.
Is there the doctor in you which stops you from this?
Yes and no. The reason why I'm saying yes is because I know what can go wrong. And certain things, if you do, they are irreversible, which is something that is very, very scary for me. And no is because, again, if done right, appropriately, I mean, we've seen some beautiful um, results where faces are concerned, be it Demi Moore, who looks stunning after the work that she got done, and few other celebrities. So, like I said, that it is a personal choice at the end of the day.
And Dr. Aditi, in modeling and acting, relevance often feels tied to appearance, the
Hmm.
physical appearance. Have you
Yeah.
ever felt that saying no to enhancements might cost you opportunities? And how have you redefined the relevance for yourself?
The fact that I'm sitting with you is relevant enough for me that okay, even without changing my face, I'm still here. So that's there. I still get invited. I'm pretty busy going as a chief guest, as a judge for various things. I'm still acting. Pretty much busy almost all the days. So that's I think enough for me to know that okay, I don't need to go down that route just yet. Who knows about future? And where opportunity is concerned, so far I've not faced that. So far I've never had anybody giving me this excuse at least to say that hey, you got to do this, otherwise you lose on this road. So yeah.
Tell me one thing. I mean, apart from your experience, your training, you and me had a conversation separately on how your parents were very supportive of whatever choices you making. With every phase of your life, has the definition of success changed for you? What does success mean to you today?
Oh yeah, I mean, not even, I would say not even every phase, every now and then. Sometimes it's over a couple of days that my definition changes. Does not mean I'm fickle, but just that with the knowledge that one gains, every time, it makes you rethink about life, about your definition of mm, success, about personal boundaries, and so on and so forth. So, yes, success definitely has changed from the time maybe, since the time I started understanding. At one point, it was about opening a nursing home, having my own, setup where medicine practice was concerned, to becoming a national supermodel, to, so that's one part. So that's a career aspect of success. In personal life, it was a certain definition, and now it is more so to me, success now would be that maintaining equanimity through life, whether it is joyous occasion, so I enjoy. And equanimity doesn't mean, so that's a uh, part which a lot of people get lost with, that okay, oh, so you mean that non-reactive. To me, it is, yes, it is non-reactive, but not responsive. So you don't become a robot just because you're equanimous. When I say equanimous, which means you enjoy the moment, you enjoy the time, you feel joy, you feel, happiness, etc., but you don't stay there. You come back to your normal baseline. Similarly, with grief or sadness, or if you're annoyed or angry or irritated, or those negative emotions as well, that you go through that process. You can't suppress emotions, because then they will express themselves as some physical ailment later. So, important to express your emotions, but keeping in mind that you're not hurting anybody. And secondly, you come to baseline in a given time. Of course, every incident is different. So the joy you feel when your child achieves something, to somebody giving you a compliment, the time frame obviously will be different that you go through that emotion. And similarly for negative emotions. So that to me is success today.
Since we're talking of beauty, physical relevance, and your choices, uh, have you ever felt that when you look back, some things that were important to you, or at least at that point in time, it felt that these were important. Now, when you look back and you say these were very frivolous and they have no meaning in life, have you ever felt like that? And uh, now you're reprioritizing what is important to you and to your family?
So yes, of course. I mean, tastes evolve. You learn things differently of life in life. So definitely some things which are at that point, and nothing wrong with it. It's not like, oh my God, how could I have been so stupid? No, I'm not saying that. But a certain age, you find certain things important. At other times, you find other things important, right? So that's way of life. That is what comes with age and evolving in life.
And Dr. Aditi, the glamour industry is famous for expecting women to look timeless. In fact, timeless is a word that is very commonly used in the glamour industry. Almost like they must freeze in their primes. And have you learned to thrive without bending to these expectations? And what have been your learnings going through such kind of situations?
So yeah, of course, that pressure on women to look a certain way is there. It's it's really sad, because uh, that's the reason why there's so much of mental pressure and anxiety in a lot of women to undergo life. And it is not, I think today it's not only connected to glamour field, but it is also for regular people. Because what has happened is, today the camera is in everybody's hand. Everybody is the hero or main lead of their own life. As a result, everybody is expecting to look a certain way when they are not. And that's the issue that is causing this whole pressure of looking a certain way, of freezing in time, or being timeless, and so on and so forth.
And we often think this pressure is just for models or actresses, but even women outside the industry feel it is very important, and it is that every time they post on social media, like you were saying, that now everyone has a camera in their hand. What's your message to the women who feel beauty is like a constant competition that is on? I mean, I mean, I was doing personal branding and I was involved in setting up a salon for a client of mine. And what we saw was that women felt more confident only when they felt that they were looking good.
Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with looking good. Look, you
Yeah.
have to look good to feel good, and you feel good and you look good, right? It goes hand in hand. However, how to look good is the question.
Mhm.
If you go to the gym or if you work out in whichever form, you're physically fit. Automatically, you start feeling very good. Are you doing that, or you're just externally looking after yourself? That's a question one needs to ask. So secondly, uh, somebody like Gayatri Devi, Maharani Gayatri Devi, she was timeless, and I don't think she underwent any surgeries or any enhancements, right? She was naturally very beautiful. Um, so how and why is a question that one needs to ask before doing anything or before falling prey to the pressure of social media and ageism.
And in the industry that you were in, I'm sure you would have had someone, a stylist, or maybe a producer, or even a friend in the industry, suggest you to just try a cosmetic procedure to keep a certain look. How did you handle that moment uh, for yourself, that you remain true to what you really felt, and also uh, responding to these people who are giving you suggestions with the right intention?
Yeah, no, I've not had any such encounter, but I definitely have had uh, I would say veiled compliment, which I take offense to in a way when people say, "Oh, you're so well maintained." And to that, I always feel like I'm not a car that needs maintenance. And I've been saying this for a while now that, look, I am a human being. What is well maintained? And why is this term used only for women? If it is used for both the genders or all the genders, I have no problem with that word. But when you are creating this bias, is when I have an issue. So yeah, that is my answer, that yeah, fortunately I've not had that. But yeah, I've had comments like a very well-known cinematographer said to me that how does it feel that men are not running after you anymore? I'm like, I first I thought, I'm like, what is this happening here? That was my kind of out of body reaction. And I'm like, I am not here so that I can make men run after me. you know I am me, and that's it. Who's running after me? They are behind me, so it's okay. It doesn't matter to me.
And Dr. Aditi, if tomorrow the industry decided to embrace the natural aging fully, what changes would you hope to see in every way a woman is photographed, cast, and celebrated in the industry?
Oh, there will be a celebration. I think there will be a lot of less pressure, less anxiety, less mental issues in people. That will definitely go down if we decide to embrace our aging as a natural process.
Uh, is there a message for uh, young people who are in the industry today and are facing the same fears that typically and every actor would face, uh, based on your experience, in a way that it is understood by them with the right intention, without feeling okay, ये तो ज्ञान बांट रहे हैं.
Well, each one has his or her own journey. Now, if you do feel insecure about certain aspect of your face, and you want to look after it or get it fixed, so to say, then you have to do a little bit of analyzing there. And I would even recommend that go to a psychologist and figure out, because it's a very slippery slope. You fix one thing very quickly, you go down to fix something else, and then you look like a different person. Do you want that? Would you be able to stop at one procedure? Do you have that mental resilience, mental capacity to do so? Do you have that kind of understanding of yourself? So I think It's very important before you go under a knife or do any enhancement procedure, to analyze yourself. To go, I think counseling plays a very big role here.
You brought up a very important thought in my mind, Aditi. Uh, when we talk about aging gracefully, it is not just about not making or not taking putting up makeup, or not dyeing your hair, or not undergoing any procedures or botox fillers, etc., but it is also about how you uh, put yourself out there in the social fabric of the society.
Yeah,
It's about how you behave, and you are someone who's made certain choices in life, and you're also an advocate for mental strength,
yeah.
right? How would you define aging gracefully? What would it mean to you? And if you were to give a suggestion to someone on aging gracefully, what would it be?
I think if one treats aging like a disease or illness which can be kept at bay, it's not that it's not going to happen. Like for example, death is inevitable. Can you keep it at bay? Yes. Can you age in a way where it is kept aging is kept at bay? By that I mean that if you physically look after yourself physically, so you work out, if you keep your brain healthy, you eat right, you sleep right, you hydrate yourself and proper nutrients, chances are you will look fit, you will age gracefully, as you're saying, right? Muscle mass is very important as an anti-aging tool, because with age muscle, the the quantity goes down. It's called sarcopenia. But if you maintain that, and this is for men and women, automatically you will look healthy, you will live a healthy life. So yes, death is inevitable. Yes, at 80 or 85 or whatever, your skin is going to sag, you will have wrinkles, but the glow will not go. So that is what is important. And when I meet teachers who, or people who meditate, yeah, you should look at them. I mean, obviously they've not done anything, most of them haven't, uh, but that glow that they have, the peace that they have, that I think is the answer to aging gracefully.
Uh, Aditi, you'll have to allow me to ask you one more question.
Sure.
When you're speaking, there's something that is coming in my mind. Uh, when you were talking about aging, suddenly I realized that, the first context that comes to mind when you talk about aging is purana ho gaya. You know, and confidence is when you are feeling that you're relevant today as well. And relevant is a process of evolution where you start reinventing yourself with every phase of life, or every phase of your career, personally, professionally, etc. And when you were talking about glow, and it's kind of an aura that is emanated, and you can see in the other person, जिसको हम हिंदी में या उर्दू में अगर नूर बोले किसी के फेस
Hmm.
है,
Hmm. Hmm.
it is something that is an outcome of their mental strength. They feel confident, and they're able to radiate that feeling through the glow on their face, right? You have also been practicing various forms of meditation, etc. We've spoken about it in the past. Uh, is there something that has worked for you where you have felt that you have been able to seamlessly, successfully reinvent yourself with whatever you're doing, which gives you the feeling of remaining relevant, feeling to you, not to the world, where you feel that you are confident, you are relevant, you know that you're moving with the times.
So I think the fun part from what you have just said is that at on one side women are expected to be timeless or frozen in time, and on the other side we are expected to reinvent ourselves. So that itself is like an oxymoron, right? At one time you're expecting us to get stuck, and at secondly you have to be relevant, you have to do. My thought process here is, for me, if I keep upgrading myself, then I'm relevant enough. So that fear is there, that, oh my God. But the fear is not about not being relevant. The fear is about keeping up with the technology, keeping up with certain instruments that are made available to us, and becoming well versed with it. Now, what happens is, as we grow older, there is a certain resistance to learning new things. Like when I say that I finished my masters 2 years back, people are like, अरे ये एज में करके क्या करना है? ऐसे किसने बोला है कि ये एज में नहीं करना है? Firstly, and secondly, I if it gives me joy, I'm not hurting anybody. I'm not harming. I'm doing it with my own time, my own resources. What is the harm if I feel that that is going to keep my brain active for a very long time? So that is what I call being relevant. I have to be relevant to myself. I have to keep up with the AIs of the world, with the social medias of the world. It doesn't mean I have to get hooked to it, but I should be aware of what is happening. I should be able to use it for my good, for my benefit. So that is what I would say is being relevant. And not like, if I walk into a party or an event, how many press photographers are calling out my name? That to me is not being relevant, right? So that is my definition, a little different than the typical quintessential definition of being relevant, but uh, what the hell.
No, it's absolutely brilliant. And you know what? Like I said, you have to feel relevant. It's not for the other people around you.
Absolutely.
And the only thing that I would want to, add to what you just said is that it is not just about women today. I think men are also facing the similar pressure. I
Absolutely.
mean, I have not seen the Bollywood or the glamour side of it, but I've seen it in the corporate world itself, where
Yes.
people are trying very hard to
Mm.
remain young, or you know, try to make other people feel that they are still uh, young,
Mm.
and they are
Yeah.
facing that pressure.
Yeah.
And especially as and when people are climbing the ladder in whatever profession they are, the pressures are increasing, and they're expected to still have a smiling face, still look strong, where the stakes are very, very high.
Yeah.
I think that is where they're facing anxiety, uh, the fear of failure, the fear of falling behind. Or I think, what you just said about being able to keep up with the times, with reskilling, relearning. And I think, one of the things that we all need to do at our age is to be able to unlearn what we've done, because what we learned at what was relevant to us when we were
Yeah.
younger may not be relevant to today's day and age.
Yeah.
Where we are. So I think it's a mix of both physical well-being and the mental well-being that would make us very, very strong. Uh,
Absolutely.
and in a world where beauty often feels manufactured, uh, you remind us of the relevance that doesn't come from resisting age, you know, uh, but it comes from embracing it.
Well, there's no choice really, isn't it? I mean, no matter how much anybody resists, we are running towards death. As morbid as it sounds, every year you celebrate your birthday. What does that imply? What does that mean? That you are 1 year closer to the death, to your death, nothing more. And that is an eventuality anyway. I mean, people say, when I say such things, that, oh, how can you talk? I'm like, that's the eternal truth. That is the only truth. Everything else is an illusion. So why aren't we shying away from discussing difficult things? You know?
Aditi, you have spoken about death. You've mentioned the word death twice or thrice in the conversation.
Yeah.
And I want to ask you one thing, because my first book is coming out soon, and it is
Conversations.
thank you, and it is about trying to understand that beyond the doctor and the medicine, what does it take for a cancer patient to demonstrate the strength to go fight cancer? And
Mm.
my book got delayed by almost like 6 months, because much against what everybody recommended and suggested to me, I wanted to include a chapter on death.
Mm.
And this book is aimed or targeted towards cancer patients. But I
Oh.
I consciously wanted to include a chapter on death because
Mm.
the only people who realistically live with the fear of death on everyday basis without
Yeah,
it being oblivious is a cancer patient.
yeah, yeah,
What does death mean to you? Because you've used this term twice or thrice.
yeah. Uh, so death is pretty much end of this person called Aditi. Soul is eternal, is what our scriptures say. But who's to know? I mean, I wouldn't know because I don't have recollection of my soul in my earlier or past life. I'm not done past life regression, so I'm not sure. Also, I sit on a fence in that sense. So death is ultimately the end of this illusion that is Aditi today, and soul का पता नहीं है.
Beautiful, beautiful. Dr. Aditi, thank you for sharing your truth and inspiring so many to see
Thank
beauty
you,
through the lens of self acceptance. Thank you for your time and
thank you so much. Thank you.